A very good evening to all brothers and sisters in the Dhamma. Today is 20th or 22nd January 2026, Thursday class. So as usual, we shall continue from this book, Heart Sutra, second edition, written by me. We are at chapter or lesson 38, page 190. Okay, as usual, we will have our physical puja. Namo 本师释迦牟尼佛。Namo 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 观世音菩萨。Namo 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 阿弥陀佛。Namo 阿弥陀佛。南无阿弥陀佛，南无阿弥陀佛，南无阿弥陀佛，南无阿弥陀佛，南无药师佛，南无药师佛，南无药师佛，南无文殊菩萨，南无文殊菩萨，南无文殊菩萨，南无普贤菩萨，南无普贤菩萨。南无普贤菩萨，南无地藏王菩萨，南无地藏王菩萨，南无地藏王菩萨，南无佛菩萨，南无佛菩萨，南无佛菩萨。阿拉汉สัมมาสัมพุทโธภะคะวะบุตตังภะคะวันตังอะภิวาเทมิสุขะโตภะคะวะตาธัมโมธัมมังนัมมัสสามิสุปฏิปันโนภะคะวะโตสาวกสังโฆสังฆังนามามินะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะบุตตังสรณังกัจฉามิธัมมังสรณังกัจฉามิสังฆังสรณังกัจฉามิดุติยัมปิบุตตังสรณังกัจฉามิดุติยัมปิธัมมังสรณังกัจฉามิดุติยัมปิสังฆังสรณังกัจฉามิตติยัมปิบุตตังสรณังกัจฉามิตติยัมปิธัมมังสรณังกัจฉามิตติยัมปิสังฆังสรณังกัจฉามิปานาติปาตาเวรมณีสิกขาปะทังสมาธิยามิอาดินาดานาเวรมณีสิกขาปะทังสมาธิยามิกาเมสุมิจฉาจาระเวรมณีสิกขาปะทังสมาธิยามิมุสาวาทาเวรมณีสิกขาปะทังสมาธิยามิสุราเมรยามัจจาปมาดัฏฐานะเวรมณีสิกขาปะทังสมาธิยามิสาธุสาธุสาธุ Let us pay respect to Puja. Buddhang Pujayami. Dhammang Pujayami. Sanghang Pujayami. So awareness-based meditation is to develop the inner awareness so that your mind is completely tranquil and without thought, just aware. So the four support that can help are relax body and mind, then silence your mind. Don't try to know, don't try to do anything, just maintain awareness. Maintaining awareness means whatever arises within your form and mind, it always arises through one of the senses, sense door, contact. When there is contact between external sense data and the sense basis, and when the consciousness is there, it will trigger off the respective consciousness. Then like the Buddha said, in the whatever arising of consciousness, it's only that consciousness. That's why he said, if it's a seeing consciousness, in the seeing, there is only the seeing consciousness. Means like the physics experiment, the consciousness just arises, like the light bulb lighting up. There is nobody behind the seeing, no one to see, no one to know, no one to do anything. It's just an awareness. There is aware of this manifestation arising of consciousness. So if you can stay with the silent awareness within, then you will understand what the Buddha meant in the seeing. There is only the witnessing of the consciousness arising. That's why whatever arises, aware, finish. Then don't follow. Don't even try to perceive when you are meditating. Just let it come and let it pass. But the awareness that is aware of the phenomena is different. That one is from our nature. It can develop the ability to be aware. Then after that, silent. So you maintain the awareness until the inner awareness becomes very stable. Because by doing that, you no longer think, no longer react to sense experience. You are at peace with everything that arises. So ability to relax, maintaining awareness and stabilizing it is the first three support. Then for those who have done it and developed the understanding and stability, then you can move on to the fourth support, which is trust. Trust your inner nature to develop the movement, the understanding. And to do that, you need to have a very stable sati or awareness already developed. Then once you are in that position or has the ability to be aware, then silence everything and stay aware at the heart area. And this fourth support is trust. Trusting your nature to develop the meditation. You don't have to do anything. So this fourth way or fourth support, which is trust, is very useful. It's meant for people who go the Bodhisattva way to develop the higher understanding. Okay, I will now let you meditate on your own. Then I will set the alarm for 30 minutes. You all can slowly, mindfully come out of the meditation. Then try to maintain whatever inner peace, inner calmness, and inner awareness that you have developed for as long as you can. These are the mind state that you need to stabilize your heedfulness so that you can be mindful and heedful in the midst of life. Invocation to the Devas. In this universe in their entirety, let the deities and Devas come here. Let them hear the good teachings of the King of Sages, which gives heaven and release, Nibbana. This is the time to listen to the teaching. This is the time to listen to the teaching. This is the time to listen to the teaching. Samanta Chakavalesu Atra Gachantu Devata Saddamang Munirajasa Sunantu Sakamokadang Dhammasavan Kalo Ayang Badanta Dhammasavan Kalo Ayang Badanta Dhammasavan Kalo Ayang Badanta Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Iti peso bhagava arahang samma sambuddho Vijacharana sampanno sugato lokavidu Anuttaro purisa dhammasarti satta deva manusanang Buddho Bhagavati Swakato Bhagavata Dhammo Sanditiko Akaliko Ehipasiko Opanayiko Pacyatang Veditabu Vinohiti Supatipanno Bhagavato Saukasangho Ujupatipanno Bhagavato Saukasangho Nyayapatipanno Bhagavato Saukasangho Samicipatipanno Bhagavato Saukasangho Yadidang Chatari Purisa Yukani Atta Purisa Puga Esa Bhagavato Saukasangho Ahuneyo Pahuneyo Dakineyo Anjali Karaneyo Anuttarang Punyang Ketang Lokasati Sadhu Sadhu Sadhu. Okay, now we'll continue from where we stop. We are at page 191, section 1.2. So this one is a section on the three levels of seeing, as taught in the Mahayana tradition. I think these are very famous analogy, and it depicts very deep Dhamma understanding. So according to Mahayana tradition, there are three levels of seeing, and they use it to refer to seeing mountain. So in the Mahayana tradition, it's always pronounced in the Mahayana Mandarin version. The first seeing is mundane seeing, or what they call the usual worldly mundane people see. So they say seeing mountain as just mountain, kan san, si san. So that is mundane seeing. our conventional way of seeing. So, upon arising of the seeing consciousness, our memory comes in. Our memory comes in to allow us to perceive it. Then we call it mountain because we are conditioned to perceive it as mountain, as taught in the English tradition. Means when you study English, the mountain, which Mandarin is called sun or hill. Then they say when you see the mountain, it is just mountain. 看山是山. So that is the first level, which everybody tend to see it that way. But as you cultivate, as you develop the wisdom and the understanding, then you can reach the second level of seeing. And this second level of seeing is using our true mind, our pure awareness nature within. It is not through the mundane consciousness, with the memory, with the views, opinion, conditioning, belief system, and knowledge. And when we go to our true mind, the silent mind, when you see with that true mind, or what we call the pure awareness nature, that one got no sankhara activity, got no knowledge of this and that. That one is just a nature. And that is the direct seeing. Seeing things as they are, without the words, without the concept, without the brain interfering, without the knowledge accumulated, conditioning, belief system interfering. Just seeing things as they are, the direct seeing. So when you see with the pure awareness nature, which is before the perception, before the thinking, then what do you see? The pure so-called image of that thing, but without the word. Means 看山不是山. That's why there is no word to label it as mountain. It's just that direct seeing things as they are, without the words, without the description, that direct nature's awareness of it. He is just aware. It may be an art, it may be a moving object, or it can be anything that the seeing consciousness observe through the silent mind. And that is the second level of seeing. We call it the direct seeing. We are the silent mind leading to awakening, means realization that perception of form is consciousness, whereas its non-perception is wisdom. So this one, cultivator of the way, will understand. And how do you perceive form? We perceive external form through our senses, either through our seeing consciousness, hearing consciousness, smell, taste, tactile, or thought consciousness. So these are the 6 types of consciousness that can manifest. But like the Buddha in the teaching, he taught us, whatever arises at the moment of contact is just that consciousness. That's why the example is, in the seeing, there is only that seeing consciousness that manifests. In the hearing, there is only that consciousness that manifests. Similarly, smell, taste, tactile, and thought process, where there is no one behind the seeing and the hearing. The delusion that trigger off the egoic thought or the egoic mind to arise the personality and interpret it as I see. therefore I am. Like the Buddha's analogy is, in the seeing, there is only that consciousness. There is no one to see. It is like the physics experiment. Upon contact, the light bulb lights up. There is no one behind it. It's a natural phenomenon. Dependent originating, condition arising, causal phenomena. You can see clearly each and every phenomenon exhibit the same universal characteristic. But you must have the mindfulness, the direct seeing, to see it, to see the moment of its arising, sustaining, and passing away. Each and every phenomena behave the same. Here is dependent originating, condition arising, causal phenomena. And all this can be understood if you are mindful, aware, silent within. Then you realize the knowing of something is through our sanya aggregate of perception. That is how you perceive the external form. Through the seeing consciousness, the external form is normally external manifestation is color, shape, and form. Whatever that has shape, form, and color, your vision or your seeing can perceive it. So that very perception of form is actually our mundane consciousness. This second level of seeing with the realization, you will understand. You have the mindfulness within, the awareness within. That's why in the Surangama Sutta, Leng Yan Xing, there is a stanza that explains very clearly. Perception of form is consciousness, because there is the mundane perception, consciousness based. Whereas it's non-perception via the direct seeing. That one is wisdom. So this Surangama Sutta stanza is very powerful and is very useful. It can only be understood by the real cultivator of the way. Yeah. So we go back to the notes. So the second level of seeing, as I explained, is called the direct seeing or spiritual cultivator seeing. That's why I put there on the second box, second level of seeing. 看山不是山. When they develop the direct seeing, they realize it is not something you can name. That's why they don't see mountain, even though that perception is at that mountain. But when they perceive that one using thought, then the word mountain come out. But through the direct seeing, there is no concept, no word, nothing. That's why that direct seeing or perception is the true mind seeing things as they are without the words and the concept. That's why it doesn't label, it doesn't create the concept and the idea of a mountain. That's why 看山不是山. So the second level of seeing is to see everything as they are. Means even though you are looking at a mountain, but they don't label it as mountain. Yeah. But when you develop the cultivation and the understanding already, please listen to this. Do not be gullible. Don't try to have that idea that, oh, I have the direct seeing already, so I must see things as they are. I must do all this. Then you try to develop the practice of direct seeing. then everything you don't want to perceive, you don't want to label. That is foolishness. That is delusion. This second level of seeing is not through the thought process, not a concept where you can practice with the thought, with whatever idea that your thought tells you. That one is all thought-based, cannot lead to direct seeing. So the direct seeing will only manifest when you meditate, when you develop the stability of awareness, when you are most of the time aware without thought, then you can be transformed into that state of direct seeing. Then you realize during those moments of perception, or pure perception, I use the word, there is no mundane perception, that label, that create the concept and the idea of what you perceive. It's just like what I have explained to you all. You will be able to understand the two types of description I explained before. When you are able to develop the mindfulness, you can see things as they are. Through what? Through this specific phenomenal awareness. You are aware of all the phenomena, activity and movement. Means mental phenomena, physical phenomena, and nature's phenomena. And to understand phenomena, we have to understand the definition. Anything perceivable by the mind is a phenomena. So I write it down. So whatever the mind can perceive is a phenomena. And this definition is very good. You check up the dictionary, it's also defined that way. Which means a phenomena is not just a movement or an activity. That very perception of it is a phenomena. That's why I call it specific phenomenal awareness. Means when you are aware without the knowing, it is that specific phenomena, whether that phenomena is mental, physical, or nature's phenomena. So there are three types of phenomena basically. I better write it down also. Phenomena has three types. First one is physical phenomena or mental phenomena. Second is mental phenomena. Then the last one is nature's phenomena. So this three is very easy to understand. Physical means all our physical activity and perception of the physical is called physical phenomena. Like our blinking of our eye, movement, activity of our physical body, can be the limbs, the arm, or whatever. Then mental phenomena means whatever mental that arises within our mundane thinking, mano, our perception, our feeling, our sankhara activity, mind state, everything. These are mental phenomena, mental activity, everything. Then finally is nature's phenomena. Whatever that is apart from the form and mind is nature's phenomena. Like all the other things that you can perceive within nature. Like the aircon sound, the silence of nature, the breeze that move, everything. Or the moving car. Or the nature's phenomena within the forest, the trees, the plants, the moving cloud. All these are nature's phenomena. In fact, whatever you can come to perceive within nature, that is nature's phenomena. Whether it's a movement or is something you perceive. And these three cover all of phenomena. And they exhibit the universal characteristics of anicca, dukkha, and anatta. That's why I always share with you, or when you have the silent mind, stability of mindfulness develop, you will always have the ability to awaken to these three universal characteristics. We are the direct seeing, and we are insight into phenomena to awaken to the three universal characteristics of anicca, dukkha, and anatta. Then, like the Buddha actually explained, truth is everywhere in the midst of nature and life and existence. Why can't you see? For those who see, they always see. So the seeing is via the direct seeing. Seeing things as they are. Everything has its causes and conditions. Everything is dependent, originating, condition arising, causal phenomena. That's why the universal characteristics of anicca is always there. Everything is in a state of flux, ever moving, ever fluctuating. Your mental aggregates, they arise and pass away so fast. Every moment of seeing, hearing, smell, taste, tactile, and thought process. Every moment of perception within the six types of consciousness that can give rise to the six types of perception. Then every moment of sensation, which is your feeling, pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral feeling, when you react and stir your mind. When you cannot see things as they are, when you cannot develop mindfulness, etc. Then all of your sankhara activity, the various type of mind state that you arise, your mental intention, which is your cetana, then your mental volition, then your mental formation, including all the images that you create. So all this are part and parcel of sankhara, or your mind state that manifests through your conditioning, your views, your opinion, your conditioning, and your belief system that allow you to stir your mind and develop all the emotion, the various type of mind state. Then finally is your mind can become conscious. Conscious of what you see, what you hear, what you smell, what you taste, and what you tactily feel. So all this are what your mind manifests as phenomena. So like I explained earlier on, I had to come out with a new terminology and word to describe the direct seeing. When your mind is silent, aware, stable with the mindfulness, it can see things as they are. Then it can manifest specific phenomenal awareness to see all these phenomena, mental, physical, and nature's phenomena. And through this ability to have the stability of awareness or mindfulness to see things as they are and awaken to their universal characteristic, you develop awakening, enlightenment in the here and the now. You insight in the phenomena, awakening to the three universal characteristics. Then your sakayaditi liberated. Then your wrong view, wrong thought that deludedly grasp and cling on to this phenomenal world of consciousness and form as real, they will vanish. Then you understand the profound teaching of why the Buddha said the moment you see anicca, you will see dukkha, suffering. Then the moment you see anicca, you will also see anatta nature, non-self nature, where it's not a permanent, unchanging entity. Then the deeper meaning of anatta is empty nature. because they are all dependent originating phenomena, condition arising, cause of phenomena, no reality. Okay, hopefully with this explanation, by now you all should be able to develop deeper understanding, and if you contemplate it well, you will awaken. Then we move on to the third level of seeing. This third level of seeing is called the supramundane seeing, or transcendental seeing, or suchness seeing. And the word up there is mastery. When you have mastered the whole cultivation, the whole practice, and develop the whole understanding, then you reach this third level of seeing, where you develop the understanding to revert back to normality, where you have complete mastery of the whole understanding, both the mundane and the supramundane, both the worldly and the spiritual. Then you can see things as they are. You can also develop the mundane seeing to agree with mundane people's seeing. Or when you meet an enlightened being with a direct seeing, you can also agree, that is not a mountain, Kan-san, Busa-san. Because by the time you develop this mastery, you develop the transcendental seeing, or suchness seeing. This is the level where you can accord and flow with all situations. That's why it's explained as Kan-san, Yu-su-san, means you revert back to normality, like a normal living being. That's why I told you all in the early day when my nature went through all this. Then I realized towards the end, I can still become normal. When I meet normal people, I use their convention. I talk their language, their lingo, and all these things. But when you have developed the cultivation, the awakening, I can also share and discuss or talk to you based on your understanding. Because the third level of seeing is the mastery of the whole cultivation. That's why this one is seeing things as they are. After having the wisdom, then you can live life like a normal person again. Sometimes the supramundane seeing is also called the ultimate truth seeing. Because what you see is no longer conditioned by knowledge, belief system, or views, opinion, and conditioning. What you see is the mastery, transcendental seeing, or suchness seeing. So this three levels of seeing is very profound, and in the Mahayana tradition, is actually taught, but not many people can develop the understanding. But they like to discuss that Zen analogy, or Zen, I should say, story. It's just like the Six Patriarch Platform Sutta. They like to talk about the wind and the flag. So the two Samanera, when they saw the movement of the flag, one of them say, the flag moved. And the other one think he is more smart. He said, no, the wind moved. Without the wind, he cannot move the flag. So they were trapped at the form level. The Huining came around and said, your mind moved. Why? Because it's neither the flag or the wind, where these are mundane concepts you create on. When you see your mind, then you know, you perceive it as flag, you say flag move. Then you perceive it with another ideology, you say the wind move. Both are mundane seeing. They haven't reached the mind level Dhamma, like I have explained in the previous session. They are still trapped at the form level, form Dhamma. Form still has a lot of meaning to them. That's why they are trapped in form. They cannot see the unreality of form. That's why they cannot see beyond form. You cannot see form. You cannot see the unreality of form because you don't have the direct seeing. And when you cannot see the unreality of form, form will trap you. Form will have a lot of meaning to you. Then you can never develop the wisdom to see beyond form. And you can never penetrate to the mind Dhamma, to understand even the very basic, fundamental understanding of mind. It's just like Bodhi Dhamma tried to teach the Mahayana monk at that time. They were having a retreat and all those things. Then they were arguing over all this type of worldly thing. So Bodhi Dhamma, he have already realized the truth, and he has awakened to the mastery level. That's why he tried to impart his teaching. So in that Zen analogy, instead of the 6 patriarch platform sutta of the flag and the wind, he moved on to the mind direct. He said, to learn the true Dhamma, you must start with mind. Sinh Wei Cân Bẩn means the fundamental understanding of mind is very important. That's why the Buddha also taught the same. He said, Dhammapada verse 1 and 2, the twin verse. Mind is the forerunner of all things. Mind is chief. When mind arises, all things arise. Means this is mind Dhamma, take you to the mind level. And because mind is the forerunner of all things and mind is chief, when mind arises, all things arise. So what must you do? You must take care of mind. Understand what? That's why Sinh Wei Cân Bẩn. Means you must understand the basic law that governs life and existence. So if that statement is so powerful that your mind, which is a mundane mind, mano, is the forerunner of all things, and that one is chief. When that arises, all things arise. So if you don't take care of mind, you will develop unnecessary suffering, entanglement, and affliction. Why? Because if you don't take care of mind, you don't train your mind, you will act, speak, and think with a heedless mind. That will arise the evil roots of greed, hatred, and delusion. That suffering will follow you, like the wheel that follows the hoof. So all this, they are clearly stated in the teaching. Then in the twin verse, which is Dhammapada verse 2, the Buddha repeat. He said, mind is the forerunner of all things. Mind is chief. When mind arises, all things arise. Therefore we must be heedful. We must train our mind to be heedful, to be aware, so that we can act, speak, and think with a heedful mind that is free of the evil roots of greed, hatred, and delusion. Once you can do that, then happiness will follow you, like the shadow that never leaves you. And this is the teaching. As I Sinh Wei Cân Bẩn, to understand the law of mind. And the first law is the law of karma. Means you reap what you sow. Do good because good, do evil because evil. That's why you must keep your precepts to avoid major karmic consequences or karmic negativity. And to keep your precept, you must have mindfulness, awareness, and develop the understanding of what constitutes evil. Why the Buddha said the three evils are greed, hatred, and delusion are evil. And this is how you cultivate. Sinh với cân bằng. Then when you develop the mindfulness, you will also come to know and realize your true mind. Then you know you have two minds. One is the thinking mind, the mundane mind, dependent originating mind, the worldly mind. And that one is subject to the nature's law of karma. So this nature's law of karma is very powerful. And the Buddha even asked the monks to contemplate every day, the 5 daily contemplation, the last one. We are all born of our karma, heir to our karma, conditioned and supported by our karma. And we are what we are because of our karma. If that is the truth, the reality, then what must you do? That's why you must take care of karma. And that is what the advice of all the Buddha is. You must take care of karma via avoiding all evil, do good, and purifying the mind. And this is the advice of all Samasa Buddha. Dhammapada verse 183. Sabba papasa akaranam kusalesa upasampadan sachitta paridappanam etang buddhana sasana. And this is where the teaching really shines for. That's why without mindfulness, all this cannot be understood and developed. But once you have developed the mindfulness and the awareness within, the stability of it, not only you can develop the three types of seeing, you can even develop the direct seeing, the penetrative awakening, then leading to the stability of understanding to have the third level of suchness seeing or supramundane seeing. And the cultivation will all fall into place. So with the law of karma understood, you begin your cultivation. Then with the mindfulness developed, with the direct seeing developed, you can see things as they are. Then you can witness the arising and passing away of mind, how your mind develops the movement. That's why you will understand clearly, who are you? What are you? And what is this so-called mundane mind, mano, all about? Then you start to develop the understanding of the nature's law of mind, chitta niyama. The first spiritual law is karma niyama, the universal order of karma, law of karma. Then this one is law of mind. Then you see clearly the dwelling, paticca samuppada. Why the Buddha explained the teaching in such manner, where every living being manifests the same movement, paticca samuppada. The first link is always avijja, ignorant. Dependent on ignorance, it creates mental activity, sankhara activity. That's why avijja paccaya sankhara. Then sankhara paccaya vijnana. Where sankhara is actually your thought activity which arises from the brain, because thought is response to memory. So after you act, because normal human being goes to the brain to think, where you don't understand, you want to develop the understanding. One thing to know, one thing to understand, you think. And thinking is what? Making contact with memory, creating more sankhara. And our brain is an organ. So like the physics experiment, when you think, you make contact, you trigger off consciousness, mind consciousness. And this mind consciousness is your perception and the six, what they call, six consciousness, actually. The Mahayana call it the six consciousness, because it is basically perception, which is common to all the six sense bases. That mundane mind or mundane thinking activity, that one is consciousness and is content, and that is universal to all consciousness. So because of that, this mundane perception can be triggered off. And to trigger off that perception, initially, like the Buddha said, in the seeing is only the seeing consciousness. So the first thing to arise is actually the mind consciousness. But when the mind consciousness arises, simultaneously the seven universals also manifest and arise. And one of them is perception. Then your memory, your views, your opinion, your conditioning, your belief system, your knowledge. All those come in and stir your mind and input the content of consciousness. That's why avijja pacaya sankara, sankara pacaya vijnanam. Vijnanam, that one is the pure mental consciousness or mind consciousness. Then from there you input the content. Vijnanam pacaya namarupa, the five aggregate of form and mind, second aspect. Then dependent on that, the Buddha say, there must be sense basis, otherwise it cannot arise. That's why the whole chain of dependent origination move. Then from the sense basis, contact become possible. Then with contact, it condition feeling. Feeling condition craving. Craving condition grasping. Then after that, it condition becoming. Then from becoming, it condition birth. Then arise the whole mass of suffering. And this is what Paticca Samuppada is all about. This is what the mind, Dhamma, is all about. When you see this, then you will understand how living beings get themselves entangled because of avijja, ignorance. The biggest culprit is Sakkaya Ditthi. From there, the three evil roots manifest. That's why to root out ignorance, you must insight into phenomena to awaken to the three universal characteristics and root out the first fetter that bind living beings to samsara. That is Sakkaya Ditthi, self-delusion. And once that one is rooted out, then the second and third fetters also automatically understood and rooted out. That's why the 10 fetters, you have the understanding and the cultivation, you will know how to break free. And all these are not difficult. It's also mentioned in the Avijja Sutta, the 10th step towards awakening. And the first step is to have Dhamma friend. And second step, because you have Dhamma friend, you will have good opportunity to listen to the true Dhamma, the teaching. And when you constantly listening to the teaching of the true Dhamma, you develop the faith in the Triple Gem, the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha. Then you develop the initial wisdom, which is Yoniso Manasikara, which is step 4. Then step 5 is stability or sati, leading to sati sambhajana. Your mind will have more space between thought. The thought will become like less and less, less and less. And this space comes from mindfulness, awareness. You can only do one thing at a time. If you are aware, you cannot think. You cannot be lost in thought. You are heedless thinking. Those who think a lot, they develop heedless thinking because of mental hindrance. And when you think, what happens? You create thought activity, and you are lost in thought. Means you are preoccupied with what your thought is telling you. Developing the mental movement via the paticca samuppada, the dwelling. That's why you cannot be aware. You cannot understand what is going on within the moment, within life. You cannot be sensitive. You become deluded. And you become heedless. That's why the heedless are as if dead. They think a lot. They are never aware. And without awareness, how can you be heedful? So all these are connected, related. It is the teaching expressed in different sections, different area, but they are all connected. Okay, we go back to the notes. Yeah. So hopefully by now, all this can be understood deeper. Where in the early days, I don't have the time at the retreat to explain in such detail. And most of you are not at this level of cultivation and understanding. That's why I don't go so deep into it. But now it's different. Now the consciousness has evolved. Our Kayamita force has even evolved and supported Kayamita who are sincere, who has the faith, and who diligently cultivate. They will develop the understanding very fast. They will penetrate the cultivation very fast. And they will develop very, very different understanding, very profound understanding. Okay, we go to second part, which is meditation reporting, 2.1. So there is a question at that time from a Kayamita. He said, I used to have pain when I meditate, but then he suddenly realized, and now I don't have. He asked, why? So when you go through this, you should rejoice. People scared of pain, worry about pain, they fear pain so much. But when you meditate correctly and when you have the right understanding, especially when you know how to relax and develop sati, the spiritual faculty will take over. Then sati take over, and no more aversion of like and dislike over that sensation. You don't want to label the sensation as painful sensation or pleasant and unpleasant sensation. So all this are mental hindrance, like and dislike, which are sensual desire and you will. That's why whenever you stir your mind at every moment of sense experience, you are actually creating mental hindrance of sensual desire and you will of like and dislike, pleasant and unpleasant sense experience. So every moment of contact in life, every moment of arising of consciousness, you create mental hindrance. Then how can you meditate? How can you develop mindfulness and heedfulness? Because you must understand, mental hindrance are mind state that hinders your mind from entering the meditative state of inner peace, inner calmness and inner awareness. So you keep on stirring and reacting to sense experience and creating unending mental hindrance of sensual desire and you will, or like and dislike, pleasant and unpleasant sense experience, then what happened to you? You will be heedless. Where these are mental hindrance, it will hinder you from entering the meditative state of inner peace, inner calmness, and inner awareness to realize your true mind. And when you react and stir your mind so frequently, until it becomes a habit, it is like a habitual tendency. There's a habitual tendency is very difficult to root out. If throughout the day you have developed this habit of stirring your mind and creating mental hindrance, then how can you meditate? That's why you must have the mindfulness and the awareness to be with the moment of that sensation arising, whether it's a pain or it's anger or it's fear or what. Stay with it. Do not stir your mind. Stay with it means what? Develop the mindfulness to be with it. Silence your mind. And when you do that, there is sati, mindfulness. It's not a mental hindrance. Then there is nothing to hinder your mind from entering the meditative state of inner peace, inner calmness, and inner awareness, which is your true mind, the silent mind, which is sati, stable. That's how you meditate. Then when you are able to be aware, then you see the condition arising mind state, which can be pain or fear or anger or whatever, it will cease. Then when you witness it seeing, that is the awakening, the insight, the understanding that unfolds. Then you realize all this mind state, whether it's fear, worry, anxiety, pain, sorrow, lamentation, they are all conditioned arising mind state due to our habitual tendency of wrong view, wrong understanding. That's why we continuously stir our mind, following what? Our views, opinion, and conditioning, and also belief system. And all these are not wisdom. All these are your knowledge, your conditioning, your belief system, etc. That's why meditation is not what you think. Meditation can only develop if you are mindful, aware, to develop the understanding, to develop the awakening. So with this, I will read you the answer, then you understand. You must investigate into it and find out for yourself. Very likely it is because you are more calm now, and your anapanasati cultivation has improved, and you are more relaxed and mindful now. You no longer label that sensation as pain, hence creating the unnecessary mental hindrance. You don't be foolish like in the early days. There is a type of meditation where they teach you to note the sensation and label it as pain, 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 and hope that it will cease. So all this thought-based verbalization create more thought activity. That's why sati cannot come in. You have to silence everything to develop the ability to be mindful. Then I say, if you can develop the improvement of that anapanasati or whatever, development of mindfulness through your understanding, then your mind will settle down and become more calm. And because your anapanasati cultivation has improved, you will develop the mindfulness within. Because anapanasati is about mindfulness of the in and out breath. It's just aware, aware, breathing in, aware, breathing out, aware. Then when you settle down, you become more relaxed and more mindful. And you will experience the calm, piti, rise. Piti is spiritual joy, spiritual calmness that manifests from a trained mind that has developed sati. Then I say this is a good sign of slight progress. I use the word slight progress, but this is the initial progress that enable you to develop a more relaxed, peaceful and calm mind. then mindfulness starts to develop. Yeah. Then I say, but meditation is not just about cultivating the peaceful mind, the calmness of mind, and having peaceful experiences leading to the so-called good meditation. And then jump for joy and cling on to it unknowingly. In fact, most cultivator or practitioner of Dhamma, initially when they go to retreat and try to develop the progress of meditation, this is what happened. They find it very difficult to settle down, to stop the thinking, to develop the inner peace, inner calmness, and inner awareness. And they sometimes cling to what people tell them. When they cannot see nimitta, they cannot develop the jhana. Instead, they develop all the restless thinking, the heedless thinking, the restless mind that thinks a lot, worry a lot, the mind that cannot settle down. Then they say this is bad meditation. Then when they strive very hard, maybe once a while, they develop the ability to become peaceful. But most of them develop that through methods and technique. And they develop that ability to be peaceful through concentration, most of them. Of course, some through mindfulness too. But whatever it is, meditation is not about developing good meditation or what we call calmness, good mind state. Then develop the aversion when you cannot develop the good mind state to experience the usual, what they call, concept of good meditation. Then what happened? They oscillate between good and bad meditation. Means again creating like and dislike. And when they cannot settle in, they develop the aversion without them knowing it. That's why I realize in a lot of retreat, cultivator of the way, also called the yogi, they don't have this metta in them, they don't have this joy in them. They become like very serious, like suffering inside. That's why my advice is, you go to retreat to relax, maintain awareness and enjoy, to settle down, to develop the ability to realize your true mind, to be in the state of inner peace, inner calmness and inner awareness, to stay with your pure awareness nature, which is your true mind and also your meditative mind. But instead, they develop a lot of random thought, agitation, pain. Then sometimes the unfinished life problem continuously haunting them, intruding into their mind state. And instead of meditating, those type of thoughts keep on arising. Then I read on, you will understand further. It is just like random thought that arise during meditation. Yogi dislike it and call it bad meditation. And they become unhappy. They say, my meditation today is very lousy, very bad. I cannot settle down. I cannot develop the peace, the tranquility, the stillness, the good mind state. I cannot experience jhana. I cannot see nimitta. I cannot develop the so-called insight knowledges and all those things. So what is this? Is this meditation? No. When your mind still reacts to good and bad meditation, that is creating the like and dislike. through your views, opinion, and conditioning, and you cannot see. The real awareness-based meditation has nothing to do with this. Meditation is to develop the wisdom, the insight, to awaken, to realize the truth. So understand this deeply. That's why in the next paragraph I wrote, meditation is about developing wisdom via awareness or sati, mindfulness, so that you can be at peace with all life situations. Even when random thoughts arise, just let it be, because you have to come to terms with whatever arises. Causes and conditions like that, things be like that. What does it mean? Because you have not trained your mind. You have been heedless for so long. That's why you think a lot. And that is normal. Because those who have not trained their mind, they think a lot. So understanding this is very important. So you should inquire. Even when random thought arise, the yogi can still develop the wisdom out of it. If the yogi know how to develop the meditation via sati or mindfulness, to understand how random thought come to be via inquiring, why am I not peaceful? Then why this thought and not other thought? So we should revert back to the fundamental understanding that meditation is about developing wisdom via awareness to be at peace with all life situations. So even when random thoughts arise, accept it as natural. Then when you accept it, means what? You don't create mental hindrance, understand? You don't create the dislike by labeling it as bad meditation. How come I meditate so long? I went in and out of retreat. I still have random thought. There is delusion. Where these random thoughts are not you. They are dependent originating thought process. Thought is response to memory through your heedless thinking, habitual tendency, your lack of mindfulness, awareness, which are the spiritual faculty. If you lack Saddha, Virya, Satis, Samadhi and Panya, the five mental faculty, spiritual faculty, then mental hindrance will take over. Sensual desire, ill will, sloth and torpor, restlessness of mind and doubt will take over. And this is the reason why you cannot meditate. Yeah. So understanding all this is very important. Okay, I move on to the next paragraph. When we come to understand that we have been heedless for so long, because we seldom train our mind to be in sati, and we are seldom heedful or mindful, then we will understand that this mind is not peaceful because of the heedless way we have been living our life. Heedless living has conditioned our habitual tendency of ceaseless thinking and reaction to sense experience, as I explained, thereby giving rise to all the mental hindrance. So your lack of peace, hence your lack of peace. So if you want to silence your mind via wisdom and not feed it with any more thought energy, like trying to focus and concentrate or do something to push it away, the random thought are pushing away the random thought, then what will happen? Try it and find out for yourself. Means the third way, just silence your mind and maintain awareness. You will see the Sankara movement, the random thought, all this activity, they will settle down and they will cease. So when you don't feed it with any more thought energy and maintain awareness, means relax, maintain awareness, silent. Don't even try to perceive or reason or whatever, just silent. then what happened? Like J. Krishnamurti say, the very flowering of that thought, the emotion, is the very ending. Then you realize all these heedless thinking slow down, and finally cease. And you realize your true mind again. Means the mundane thinking return to its original state, which is the true mind without thought. So when you try it and find out for yourself, you will be very surprised that this random thought will just slow down on their own and then become silent and still. And this is how you realize your true mind, your silent mind, your meditative mind. And this is a form of awakening and wisdom which will arise if you know how to meditate using awareness. Then the yogi will suddenly understand with a lot of joy that the natural state of mind before the stirring and the reaction of mind is already silent and still. Means your true mind. So the cultivation of sati or mindfulness during meditation is not about doing with the thought, leading to thought-based meditation as we move it up, but about understanding that the moment I am silent without thought, I am already in sati. Sati is mindfulness before the knowing, before the perception, the arising of thought activity or sankhara, or aggregates of mind. That means you don't have to practice mindfulness or try to be mindful anymore. Where the practicing or the trying is always by the thought. With thought so actively doing things, how can you be aware or mindful? So just silence your mind, then sati is automatically there. Where sati is awareness before the thought or the knowing, or the aggregates of mind from arising. It's just a pure awareness leading to a direct seeing. Sati is the silent choiceless awareness of what is. So, meditation following awareness base is to witness what is within the moment, the movement, the activity, or whatever arises. That's why sometimes they define it as the silent mind that observe what is awareness-based meditation. Your silent mind is your true mind, your pure awareness nature that observe without words and concept of what is going on within the moment. Means it observes the reality within the moment. So whatever that can allow you to see things as they are, that is the awareness-based meditation. So with this, we will end. Now we come back to our second session, which is meditation, reporting and sharing of the Dhamma, or whatever question you may have. Is Alicia around? Well, last Tuesday she didn't manage to.
Maybe Brother Tew, Mrs. Tew然后凯尔米达。Actually, Brother Tew, 其实我要讲，我要讲什么好啊？我想讲last Thursday Brother Tew 讲的那个 My Dhamma，
对 ，Form Dhamma and My Dhamma。
所以我要学习讲一下，就是 Brother Tew 这个 relate to 那个吃 vegetarian 的嘛，吼。
对。对，
然后我就
Because form Dhamma is outwardly the external form, they cling onto it. 就好像他说我是 vegetarian, means this is form Dhamma, means not at the mind level yet. So 他们会用这个来批评人家啦，你不慈悲哦，因为你有吃肉啊。But then during the Buddha's time, the Buddha actually didn't insist that the monk go complete vegetarian. He said there is a criteria that he has introduced to qualify it as a meat allower. They call it the 3 condition meat, San Jing Rou. So the San Jing Rou, I think the way the Mahayana put it is very good. 不见杀, 不闻杀, 不为我杀 means that pure meat, you don't hear the killing or witness the killing. That is not kill for you specifically. Then these are called the 3 condition pure meat, San Jing Rou. That's why when the Devadatta insists to challenge the Buddha to introduce vegetarian, he refused. Why? Because it's not what you eat that makes you pure, like I always said. If what you eat makes you pure, then all the herbivorous animals, like the cow, the horses, the goat, all would have become enlightened beings. But it's not what you eat. It's not how long you sit. The toads sit very long, but it's not enlightened. So cultivation is not external form. It's at the mind level. That's why from form Dhamma, you got to bring back to mind Dhamma. Then from the mind Dhamma, you differentiate between the 2 minds. Then you go beyond the mundane mind to realize the silent mind, the true mind, the meditative mind. And that is how you cultivate. That's why you have to transcend form and mind. You have to transcend even the present moment within existence or life. The present moment, although the highest in life, but is still within existence, within life. And to transcend life, we have to transcend even the present moment. The present moment, the pure awareness, you must cease. Otherwise you cannot realize Nibbana. Because Nibbana is beyond thought, beyond time, beyond the pure awareness. The nature just ceases. Then it returns. The mundane mind that realizes itself and ceases. Then the pure awareness also ceases. Then only the form and mind that go through that cessation of form and mind can realize the unconditioned Dhamma, which is the Nibbanic. We won't call it experience, the Nibbanic cessation. So all this, they are very clearly taught in the teaching. You continue, Alicia, yes.
Yeah, Brett, actually, 当 Brett mentioned about 这个form Dharma and mind Dharma，他relate 去我当下地藏王菩萨该我吃素那几年的 understanding。
哇，萨度
Yeah, because 当下他就理解到的是说，其实他不是盖你在那个 form 这个 Dharma 里面，因为当我在吃素那几年，我经历的是很多的，怎样说呢？就是说你 at my level 你要 endure 你的 normal 的不一样的东西 ，suddenly 你会来一个 sudden change in 你的 diet，
对，
然后 understand 你要怎样的去吃素，然后你在这个过程里面，当你面对你跟朋友出去的时候，你怎样的去carry 你的那种朋友之间的 make sure 要有 misunderstanding or whatever。所以我就回想起 Brett 就一讲我就就整个 understanding like you know 当下那个 guide 来的时候就是因为我不明白那当下我就问 Brett 为什么会这样。然后 Brett 就讲你以后你就会明白。Understanding.
Because I also went through in the year 1989. I told you after I developed the understanding, then for 6 months or suddenly, it like doesn't want to eat meat, no. And when I went to because I like Konlomianon, the one-time meat. I like that one a lot. Then I was looking for something that is suitable that I can eat, no. And when I told the hawker that sells the one-time meat, I said, I order char siu wonton, but I don't want the char siu. I said, he looked at me, he said, what are you trying to tell me? Char siu wonton, don't want char siu. I said, yeah, like you make it like just the meat, look with of course there is some oil. I think they also use pork, lard or what. Then I say with the veggie and just plain without the wonton, without the char siu. Then finally I think he knew that I was serious, so he made for me. And I was looking for chapana, of course raw pian chai. I take the veggie that time for 6 months. No, 6 months. I remember. Then finally I realized vegetarian is not suitable for this physical body, the DNA, this life. Then suddenly, from deep inside, there is the nature telling me, hey, you have a vow, your DNA is not meant for this. That's why I find something not right, because I have reached that level that I can understand the need to be compassionate in that sense that you try to avoid unnecessary killing and all those things. But then, deep inside, suddenly came out, you have a vow, a very heavy vow, to take across all living beings that come as food for your nature to actually eat or nourish as food for your body sustenance and all those things. Then I realized this present life DNA of this form of mind is not suitable. That's why after that, I just stopped. I revert back to normal. Then I realized I can eat. Then of course, there are many examples. I reflected, then I realized the sixth patriarch also same, Liu Zhuhui. He was with the hunters for 16 years old. And he was a cook. And he cooked for them. But when he eat, he take the veggie and separate it out. Raw pian chai means the veggie cooked with the meat, but he just take the veggie. Then there are also other type of analogy. Then the most obvious one is like the Buddha never want to introduce vegetarian. Then the nature also understand it's not what you eat that make you pure. It's at your mind level, your understanding, your wisdom, your cultivation. Then everyone is different. That's why I say when the time comes for you to go vegetarian and you have the understanding, by all means go, which is very good. But you are not at that level of cultivation and outwardly you try to impress and say you are vegetarian or what, then no point. So all this understanding, they will unfold. And for your case also, I remember in the early years, I think, when we went for retreat, there was one stage, you keep on vomiting, I remember. The food that you take, can you recall, Alicia?
那段时间，我吃素那段时间，我如果吃了那个好像就是吃了虾或者其他，我都会吐。
你会吐That one is good. That one is for you to learn, for you to understand, because it's like for you to have the understanding. Then you will find out on your own one. Why like that? Or say that how you overcome it? All this, where everyone is different, we come differently, and sometimes all this they come back as tests for you to go through, so that you can understand that cultivation is basically not what normal people think, where everyone is different. Every cultivator, they come different. So different manifestation, different arising can give rise to all this variation. Anyway, you continue, Alicia, which is very good.
Yeah, but 就因为有一次我记得我们去visit 六祖，I think，
对，
就地上菩萨蛋，然后我看到满桌子的虾很浪费，我就吃2只，然后吐到很厉害，所以他的 teaching 是让我们明白到当你在那个情形里面，你有没有的不安啊，或者是不高兴啊，还是你有没有那个 craving 啊？所有的一切 actually 全部都在那个整个 training 那5年里面都 go through 了。且当你在当下你要知道怎么样的去吃的时候，你就会去 study 怎样说，就是去该吃什么啊，怎样的去补充营养啊。变了，在那个期间我一直做很多的 research on 这些，变了后来我发觉到他的那个要学习的心态就慢慢建立起来。
sadhu.
Like learning like
It's meant for you to learn, develop the understanding.
那天文不是就一 mention 我整个 understanding 好像原来
是 very good, sadhu.
所以我就想借着这个机会跟大家分享一下，其实是真不容易。有时候你跟朋友出去，那时候我的朋友没有 understand， 讲那些很难听的话啊，或者会逼我吃啊，you know 很多。但是你只有OK 这样子，就你的 mind 不被 disturb 咯，你慢慢的。
对，你了解吗？They are just they are, because mundane people, worldly people, non-cultivator, they have this tendency, just like I share with you during the early years of my career when I just came out as an undergraduate. You know, I was in the construction industry initially. So they drink a lot, then the contractor, the supplier, and my transporter, and of course my staff, they all were like, as a construction personnel in this field, they want you to drink, and they always like want to pour the it's not liquor or alcohol, it's like beer. So they like, no, he said, cannot, must drink. Then of course at that time I said, well, initially I don't know what this thing is. I said, okay, I will give it a try. But I don't like the taste now, and I don't like the drink. But then because of the so-called circumstances and conditions, so I took a bit. So initially I tried to put more ice to dilute it. But still, you feel the alcohol affecting you, Then I tell myself, I said, this is not the way, because it is not something that is conducive. So what happened was, I was lucky, I think. Blessing in disguise, actually. Then not long after that, I supposed to go for a honeymoon with my wife at that time, I think 1979, I think end of 79, when one of my other very close classmates in Penang, so he asked us to join him to go Lake Toba. I remember that time, the cheapest overseas trip, I remember it was only less than 400 ringgit per person, I think 345 or. So I went with my wife and my sister-in-law. Then he, so close to me, he wanted me to be at his wedding and be the like reserve as the best man if the person he called, who is a local Penang guy, not able to be there, then I supposed to take over. And you know what happened after that wedding? That night, I think I must have eaten something not right. Jiu in Chai, I remember, middle of the night supper. I landed up in the Adventist hospital. Then, when I was in the Adventist hospital that morning, the flight was in the afternoon. No? So luckily, airport very near. So I told the doctor, I said, I had this problem. I said, my stomach, like, got an eerie feeling, no, pain and all those things, but I don't know what it is. No. Then that time the doctor very confidently told me, he said, don't worry, you can still go. I give you some medication. You bring this along, then you go. So I went there. Oh, that whole trip, although I endure, I understand, but I think because of my condition, my wife didn't get to follow the, you call it, to go for the tour or the thing. My sister-in-law, they all went there. He decided to stay back and accompany me. So while staying back, I visited 2 Indonesian doctors, clinic actually. I look at the clinic, don't have proper clinic. It's like a student classroom with a drawer there, student table, and no proper clinic, no nurse, nothing. He checked me, then he gave me, take from the drawer that medication. I then eat. That's how I endure all the way until I came back to Penang. Then I drove all the way back to Alasta. On the way, I knew I had to go hospital. Then I also knew I got 3 classmates housemanship there. So I straight away drove to Alasta Hospital. Then my classmate saw me and said, what the hell are you doing here? I said, I don't know, you better check me up. So I was hospitalized for 4-5 days. They checked everything. They thought it's urinary tract infection, all those things. But then nothing happened. So on the last day of the antibiotic, one of my classmates told me, I said, the pain don't go off after today. We also don't know what to do with you already. Then luckily on the last day, the pain gone. Then I was able to discharge. Then after that, I came back. The whole JKR office at that time I was in JKR, they know I was hospitalized for 5 days. Then after I go back, no more contractor and all those people force me to drink anymore. Where I say doctor's advice, cannot drink. Hospitalized before. Wow, after that day, I got no more of this thing coming to me. So it's meant to be. Then when later on after that, I got no issue. When I say, it's okay, you go ahead. Then some who know that I'm a cultivator, even many years later, when I was quite senior, there is 1 or 2 colleagues who know that I teach meditation and all things. They tell that, hey, for tea or Chinese tea, Chinese tea. So they know. And they never force me or pressure me anymore. So maybe meant to be. With all this, it will just happen, it will just unfold. Then your example of going out with colleagues or say, don't worry. Because for me it's very simple. If they want to drink, I say go ahead. I sometimes even encourage them because they are just the way they are. You cannot force your principle onto others. Then there was another calamity. I remember a lady. He was a Buddhist too, quite you call it very strong about his religion. Then he got a father-in-law like to each order this type of yao sui yi. They call it swimming on a life on a. So she's got so much fear and phobia of the karmic, So she came to the class and asked that question, It's like very serious. Then I advised her very well. I said, when you confront such situation, I said, you must have the understanding. Dhamma is not about confronting with wrong understanding, end up arguing and becoming like the harmony not there, and the good occasion of your father-in-law, mother-in-law coming, having a good dinner and a good meal, end up disagreeing on all these things, and the facial expression also very negative. I say, this is not the cultivation. There is no sign of understanding, Noble Eightfold Path application. All don't have. I say, before you know the Dhamma, you also order before. So what's wrong with your father-in-law ordering and all those things? Because they are just the way they are. Even if you forced to like place the order, it's not life and death, understand now? Because karmic is like that. There is a right livelihood. If they choose the livelihood to actually sell it to you, to cook it for you, you can order actually, no harm. But then, for you, individual, you don't want to eat, it's okay. But if I were you, it's a happy occasion. You just allow them to like enjoy the meal and have a good meal, and just develop the understanding so that there is harmony, there is joy, there is no more misunderstanding, conflict, and all those things. Then the other thing that I had on is, I said, your father-in-law, if you cannot establish a good relationship with you, your life will be miserable. Then if you were to allow yourself to be in their shoe, you know what they will tell you or not. My daughter-in-law, who the hell is she to tell me all this? They are your elders, understand? And if they don't have the Dhamma, means they don't have the Dhamma. They are just the way they are. But luckily the father-in-law not that violent type and negative type. But she herself react until like she cannot accept. It's like very wrong to her. And also you should. Once you impose your lack of understanding, means your views, your belief system, your tradition on others, a lot of negative things can arise. So avoid doing all those things. So the example I still remember, long time ago. I remember in the early 80s, I think, or early 90s, I forgot already. Okay, Alicia, so don't worry. When you go out with friends or what, even my classmates, they want to drink, I say, you go ahead. They even order. They are just the way they are. Then, of course, if they force you to drink and all those things, then you just politely tell them, never mind, you go ahead. Then you have a good reason, then maybe tell them, health-wise, I think I don't want to take all this. Then the way you express it, they will understand. Then after a while, they will stop like pressuring you or forcing you. It's just like our Kayamita gathering. We also acknowledge that quite a number are on vegetarian. So we actually order vegetarian dishes for them on the table, where some vegetarian, the rest are non-vegetarian. So all this can lead to a lot of harmony and understanding. Means we do not restrict or force people to do things that they don't like based on our views, opinion, condition. They are just the way they are. And there's nothing about right and wrong. It's the understanding, the harmony. Actually, when you have the Dhamma, the Noble Eightfold Path, you will know how to act. You will not impose your views and what they call belief system on others, where that is selfish. That is doing things without clear understanding, where everyone is different. That's why religious harmony is very important. Then we need to establish understanding to have the good, what they call condition to coexist in harmony with a lot of love, empathy, and all those things. So all these are the understanding that will evolve when we develop the Dhamma understanding and the wisdom. Okay, Alicia? Now you continue, sorry.
Yeah. 就 actually，我的 experience about 这几年，就是 go through 那个 training， 我觉得是非常好，因为他有一天忽然间我走过，我嗅到那个猪肉很香，然后我就知道我可以吃回去了。所以，这个是一个过程，让我
一个过程，对 ，you are right，after that gone no more already。
then 你就知道，因为不能每个人就像你这样，
对，
去可以好像你的家人跟你出去也比较，怎样讲啊？就是有时这样，有时吃荤，有时吃，好像他好像 Freddy 他也是很随便的，其实就讲，其实什么都可以吃，好像是
对
吃炒粿条
，Freddy no problem 啊。
就是吃。
但是有时候那个菲律宾的来啊，那个什么名字啊 ？Daddy，他有跟他去喝酒啦，没事的。That's why，then 有时候我也 join 过你们嘛，他跟 Freddy 两个要喝，我说你们 go ahead，because different people different，and 他们 actually develop certain type of interest and habit，so not an issue at all。
Yeah, but still actually, coming back to 这个刚才 Brother 有 mention 到 about 那个 thought in meditation actually，
yes，
很重要。其实那个怎样说，就是很多的时候，其实我们要做的就是超越它罢了嘛。
对，
就是在里面我们就是要超越它罢了，就是从我们现在我们不懂到去懂那种，就是其实 understand 它吧。很多年前我刚才 go through 我以前写下来的 notes 啊，在无名金色的那个 experience 啊，还是很多的我的所谓的 diary 啊，我有时候会 read 回去哦。
Yeah, very good。
其实我们讲就是。whatever 我们在 meditate 的时候哦，就是要超越它罢了，不要给它带着走。
You must transcend it, develop the understanding to transcend it， 超越它。
Actually, Brother， 最近我经常发觉到我的 meditation 是吗？它是一直在那个heart 那边这样 ，you know， 他就是怎样讲？他就是有一天我在 Brother 上2个星期，我在 Brother 那边 meditate class 的时候，当 Brother 起初我是盘着腿坐在 Brother 的那个椅子上面，Brother 打那个钉，就把我的脚放下去地上，但是我是不能够不要出来。continue 哦，然后我可以 aware 到我的 body 很 sit upright 哦，它是没有靠着那个椅子，但是它是 very sit upright and then
对，you will naturally do that。
Yes, it's so fully aware 到你的 body 你要 aware 那个 body 就 aware， after that 它就回去那个 awareness 里面，就是 like you know。Then after that， 我要听到 Brother 讲课，他就可以 perceive。
对 You want to know, you can know. Otherwise, it will stay within.
Yes.
That's why it's a spacious awareness without a center. The other one is a specific phenomena awareness. You want to listen, you can listen. You want to perceive, you can perceive. You want to know anything, you can know. But then when you decide to stay within, then it is spacious awareness without a center. Then with that awareness, you can actually develop the understanding that it can manifest into mind anytime. That's why you can have the ability to decide whether you want to know or you want to perceive or you don't want to perceive. Then you just silent. Then it will just go in. It will stay there. Then it will move and manifest based on your understanding. And during that time is the most beautiful because you realize your whole understanding has developed to the extent that you can understand all this movement. Then you start to witness how the true mind, from there it manifests all the mundane thinking, mundane activity, sankhara, consciousness, thought activity, movement, everything. And this is how the refinement of understanding and wisdom develop. Then it will continue to evolve and extend by itself. It will develop the understanding, the profound, deeper understanding. And all this will unfold. That's why this type of mind state which you are able to go in is not easy. It's just some cultivator that has the ability to stay with that nature. Otherwise, you cannot be in that state. 人家 normal 的 cultivator 做不到的. Most of them are thought-based, energy field, focusing, concentrating, or verbalizing. Very good, Sadhu.
Yeah, 不然就当我把我的脚放在地上我发觉到我整个身体很 relaxed，
对，Sadhu.
真的很 relaxed，
Yeah. And you will understand how that true mind can be in that state. Because 它没有思想的，没有 thought activity 的 and is in the state of complete relaxation and tranquility and stillness. Just that nature inside. And you can feel the thought of every part of you is so relaxed, like it naturally know how to relax, and 不用 like 去勉强还是 purposely want it to relax 不需要的 and the mind that is in that state is like cotton, relax, accord and flow, like the whole thing is like a cotton, so soft, like malleable. It just flow and it at ease, no resistance at all. That's why this type of understanding, when they unfold, you become different. Where that nature is not a being, it cannot come out, but it can unfold a lot of understanding for the cultivator of the way. And the form and mind that has developed the understanding has the wisdom with it, connected to it. And this is how you apply the wisdom to develop the understanding of life and have the wisdom to live life and to be a blessing to all. And all this will unfold. Very good, Sadhu.
Yeah, 感恩 Brother Actually, 刚才 Brother 讲着那个课的时候 about 给 yogi 怎样的要去 relax。
对。
其实我们必须得经过那个所谓的，我们要 endure 那个 pain 要有 understanding，
对，
然后才能够超越这个 mundane mind，难做到。
你要接受 whatever arise, there are causes and conditions behind. Then you just relax into it. That's why I say relax into any mind state that arises. Whatever, whether it's pleasant, unpleasant, or restlessness, or whatever, relax into it and maintain awareness. And everything will dissolve. Where these are condition arising mind state. dependent originating, not intrinsic within our true mind. So do it, realize it, then you will awaken. Then whatever comes cannot affect you anymore. Then you can endure, you can just become normal again. No more issue, no more problem. Thing is just the way it is. Condition like that, things will be like that. Then your ability to see things as they are, accept the reality of the moment. The world is the world. People are just the way they are. Then you are always at peace. And this is what Dhamma cultivation is all about. Very good, 很好。
感恩 Brother Teo，因为时
呀，
间的关系，我的 sharing 暂时
可以，
到这里。
可以。
感恩
Let us rejoice.
哦。
阿弥陀佛，sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, so now we will do the sharing of merit, transfer of merit. Then we end. Akasata cha pumata deva naga mahindika punyang tang anumoditwa cirang rakantu lokasasana Ittavata jamihi sampadan punya sampadan sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampati siddhya idang menya tinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo idang menya tinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo Idang menya tinang hotu sugita hontu nyatayo Devo wasatukalina sasa sampati hetu cha Fito bhavatu loko cha Raja bhavatu dhammiko Imina punyang kamina Mame bala samagamo Satang samagamo hotu yawa nivana patiya sadhu sadhu sadhu. Okay, you all can now pay respect mindfully to Lord Buddha, Kuan Yin Bodhisattva, and all the worthy ones. Then we end. Sadhu.